Hey guys, welcome to a recap of Inside MMA Gyms and Events. I'm your host, Dan The Wolfman, bringing you the inside information only I can by going in there and risking my butt. This week I went to the Strikeforce event, and of course, as usual in the future, I went in early to train with the pros. Okay, I went up to American Kickboxing Academy up on Thursday, and eventually Javier Mendez grabs me by the arm and says, hey, get changed and get on in there. And, you know, it was great training. They got a brand new Jiu-Jitsu instructor there. Okay, we worked on some very interesting positions that is good for a transitional position and good for ground and pound. And everyone seemed to love it. Lots and lots and lots of drilling. Okay, it was already pretty gassed. And then eventually I did get a chance to roll with my partner, who was a really strong guy, probably a light heavyweight. You know, we'll probably see him at Strikeforce in the future, seemed very skilled, and rolled with him. And then I managed to go with John Fitch, who I've always wanted to roll with. Okay, and it was everything I could. Luckily for me, he always started on his back. Okay, but you know, luckily for me, you know, he did so. Otherwise, you know, things could have been a bad day for me, I think. And then I was able to roll with Phil Baroni a little bit, but we went light because he's fighting next week in Colorado in Ring of Fire. So luckily Phil was there, who I helped in the past train a couple times for his first Matt Lindland fight. I mean, back in the day, guys, you got whatever help you could. It wasn't like it is nowadays. So, you know, that was cool. He's willing to like hook me up. I get an interview with him and Kyle Kingsbury. You know, very nice guy. You know, he's got a big fight ahead of him next week, and he didn't mind taking the time out to put it out there for you, the fans. And, you know, then me and Phil are deciding where to get something to eat. We stop somewhere. I don't know what's going on. Lo and behold, it's King Mo, and he invites me into his house. Okay, after seeing the crazy video I made last week, brother. And, you know, I end up kicking the whole day, hanging out with King Mo and Phil Baroni, and we're watching boxing. We're talking about boxing techniques. We're breaking down MMA techniques. You know, this guy's really articulate and understands you know, everything about fighting. He really breaks it down. He's a student of the game, which is really cool to just sit there and chat all day. You know, watch some boxing, Mayweather Cotto, and then play some Wii, and ended up hanging out at his house. Nice guy, had me over for a steak dinner. So that's his response to the Wolfman's call out that I did last week. Let's see, from there, Friday we got to go to training again. And today, this is sparring day. So this is a little bit more intimidating because I don't know how hard they're going to go. And I think they took it easy on me a little bit. But it was great because I got to go with Herschel Walker, who over the day I start finding out is what a great guy. And it was very interesting because he's such an athlete and he's so fast. I believe 50 years old. You know, his reaction speed is off the hook. Okay, and he was really doing some Bruce Lee, Jeet Kune Do, way of the intercepting fist and kick style of defensive attacks on me, or countering attacks on me. Meaning he was hitting me with stop hits or stop kicks, as Bruce Lee would call it. You know, as I would go in for a sliding side kick, you know, something I like to do, he would hit me with a lead stop side kick. He'd hit me with a lead stop jab sometimes. You know, I was doing all right with certain attacks as well, but he was intercepting and interrupting my rhythm a few times. You know, he hit me with a check left hook, and you know, Herschel's a great guy, super strong athlete, 2-0 in MMA, and you know, after the sparring, well, after that, let me say this, I think something happened with his gear or something, all of a sudden I'm called in to go with Cain Velasquez, and you know, that's a little intimidating, going with former heavyweight champion a week before his fight, because you never know, I'm sure you never know how hard a guy a week out from his fight's, you know, gonna nail you. So thankfully, I'm still alive, and all the guys at AKA really appreciate being there, and you know, give you some insights of what training is like. And I managed to roll with after class was over, you know, long couple-hour training session. I did get to roll with Herschel, super strong, super tight, great pressure. You know, obviously, you know, they've been teaching him right over like the last 4 years is all, but he did have a long Taekwondo background before that. He was a 5th degree, I believe, black belt. So things were great. And then I rolled with a little Japanese fighter who I think is just coming into the UFC, or maybe had one fight. I've got to look it up. It's like Ishii, not the judo Olympian who I rolled with last December, but small guy, probably 125 or 135, and just work technique and stuff. And I tried to do some rubber guard, and he passed on me a couple times. Very, very, very technical guy. So it was great training. Got to rush over, bam, cab to Subway, get over to the Strikeforce weigh-ins event, do that. I see Eric Paulson, interview him. Unfortunately, the audio is not very good on that interview, guys, but I get to train with, talk to Eric Paulson about the upcoming Barnett-Cormier fight, about Muay Thai, about trapping, and Savate, mixing Muay Thai and Savate, STX kickboxing he calls it, which I actually trained at some JKD schools back in the day that Eric used to give seminars at in Michigan. So, that was cool. I bumped into Brian Harper, who I know from training in Michigan when I was younger. He runs a school, I believe, just south of San Diego in Oceanside, a Team Quest. And I got to talk to Scott Kokar, got to interview Herschel Walker. So it was great. Now on to the Strikeforce event. It was a great event. The undercard, I really liked some of the fights. One guy I fought a very disciplined boxing in-range fight that I really took notice of. And then the main cards start and you get a great knockout, and then you get a great Fajau hits an overhand right. I don't know, Mike Kyle kind of ducked into it. I don't know what was up with that. Right into a right knee, hammer, 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 and then he goes for the guillotine and gets that. Then you got Melendez versus Thompson in the co-main event in their trilogy match. And the first couple rounds were pretty slow paced. Melendez is pushing it forward with his footwork and being a little more aggressive, so octagon control. I give him the rounds, even though in the second round he gets popped and gets messed up under the eye. But I still gave him the round. Now the third round was very back and forth, and a bit of the cage was cutting off my view during some of the action. At one point, Thompson got a little trip, and another point, Melendez did like 3 or 4 rapid fire elbows. So that round could have gone either way, and I think that's what decided the decision. And the fourth and fifth round, obviously Josh Thompson won, did more damage, got takedowns, got the back. So it was a close fight. And then the main event, Cormier versus Josh Barnett, was awesome. It turns out Josh, as he broke his hand in the first round, so did Cormier. Josh broke his left hand on a left hook, and Cormier injured his right hand again. But neither guy's corners, I believe, found it out by asking Cormier afterwards. I don't think Josh's corner, Eric, saw it either. I didn't get a tell until the third round or fourth round. I think the third round I saw Cormier shake out his right hand twice, and Josh didn't really let it be known, except he was never going with a jab or establishing his distance with his lead arm. But great event, high pace. Cormier's on fire. He's really one of the top heavyweights in the world. He gets some great high crotch slam on Barnett, unbelievably huge amplitude throw, and just dictated the pace and the rhythm of the fight. Faster hand combinations getting in there. I think the fourth round, even one judge gave it to Josh. He went for spun under for like a knee bar, and then going for an ankle lock. But Cormier got out. Strikeforce was a great event. I love being there. So thanks Scott Kokar and Zufa for having me. And guys, hopefully in the future, I will keep going to some gyms. I may give you something in the upcoming weeks here. I hit it off with Cesar Gracie and talked a little bit to Nate Diaz after the show, waiting for the presser, and talked to Ed Soares. So maybe the Wolfman might get in there sparring with Machida soon. Hopefully he doesn't knock my block off. We'll see. But I'm willing to put it out there for you, the fans. So hopefully you like Inside MMA Gyms and Events. And I'm Dan the Wolfman, signing out. See you next time.